Colin, you're next. What do you got for me?
Super refreshing.
It's me?
Yeah.
I'm up? All right, so I was just thinking about something really quick. We can go through this one quickly. If you could have a job, like we all have kind of our dream jobs, I would say, or like we're able to do kind of cool things that don't require massive intellect, right? And that's just being honest, right? Like to produce or to write about video games or to act or do any of these things, like you have to be good at those things, and that requires talent, but it doesn't require the genius Mensa intellect, right?
Sure. Thank God.
If we had the ability to do anything we wanted to do and have like a real academic skill, like you were really good at science or math or something like that, what would you do? Like, what would your profession be? Would you be like, I like, for instance, when I was younger, I always knew I wanted to be an historian, but I was always really fascinated with science. We've talked about this in the past. I just couldn't, by the time I got into high school, I just couldn't do the math. Like, I could barely do pre-calc at all. So, like, my dream of being, like, a physicist or, like, even a chemist or something like that, even though chemistry, math's a little more straightforward, it was dead. I couldn't do it, even though I'm really fascinated by it. So, like, if I could do anything, like, I would probably try to be a scientist, like, an astrophysicist or something like that. And so I was just curious what your guys' answers would be to that question.
So the question is, if I were smarter, what would I have done with my life?
That's exactly it, because he just said he didn't have the mental capacity to do that job.
Right.
Right, exactly. I don't have the mental capacity.
So the question should be, if you have the mental capacity, what would be...
Sure. Like, I have the mental capacity to I know I'm very right-brained. I'm a good writer, and I know literature and history and all those things. I'm left-brained in the sense that I understand scientific theory, I think, to a degree, but I can't write a proof. I can't prove why Stephen Hawking says certain things. I just read what he says, if that makes any sense. So like, that's kind of where...
What are the options, then? It seems like it's just science
Anything.
stuff and math
No,
stuff.
it could be blue-collar, it could be you may be a fucking janitor, whatever.
Engineering, that kind of computers, technology.
Pro skateboarder?
Yeah, you can be pro skater.
Something like that? Yeah, whatever.
Does that work? Like, does that qualify?
No, it does. I mean...
A trade. I would say a trade or an actual... something that could help in maybe an apocalypse situation.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. That's where my mind goes to, right? Like I was think about that when the EMP goes off and it all goes to shit. I have nothing to offer society. But if I was a farmer, a plumber, a home
carpenter would be good.
A carpenter's really good. That's really high on my list right now.
Mm-hmm. Like I was always thinking,
my boss is a Jewish carpenter. Jesus.
That was the longest silence I think we've ever had on the show.
I had to think so much shit ran through my brain in like a split second. I was like, where's this gonna go?
Is it talking about Jesus? Jesus Christ.
Is it talking about Jesus?
I think actually I thought, do Jews build stuff? That's what I thought.
Yeah, Joseph was a builder too, or a carpenter too.
They do. They build
things.
They build lots of stuff. It was an obvious joke. It's like calling a big guy tiny.
Oh, okay.
My God, you guys really brought the room down.
No, I didn't. I understand. It's a history joke.
It was an obvious thing. Of course they build stuff. Romans builds... Holy shit.
Colin builds things. Okay, so I still don't know that I have this question clear.
All right.
So if I were smarter,
no, because I don't think it's necessarily about. It's about like it's more about capacity than smarts, right? Like you have to have the capacity to learn. All right, so for instance, when I went to Northeastern, I was friends with a lot of pharmacy majors.
Yeah.
That's a fucking serious major.
They're not
you know what I mean?
around.
I was like getting bombed most nights, reading history books, and these guys were like in the library all night, like really reading, and now they make, $100,000 a year doing their thing. That required like complete dedication to like understanding.
I see what you're saying.
So, like, if like, for instance, we're talking about a post-apocalyptic situation, I think that just being a doctor, like a general practitioner, is actually probably one of the most useful things.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to kill you if you're a doctor.
I would say carpenter. That's my answer. That's it. Super big, awesome skill, and it also makes me happy to do it. Or a mechanic, because shit's still going to need to work.
Yeah.
You're still going to have a tractor or a car. Great. Yeah, mechanic or carpenter. That's my answer.
See, for me, thinking about this, like, I do video stuff.
Yeah, you're a video guy.
This is much different answer than your guys's, but for me, audio has never made sense. And I remember when I went to college, there was like the two paths. Was you either do video or you do audio.
Yeah, you chose
I remember
the right
like
one.
The stuff that the audio guys had to do, like that it doesn't, the compression and all that shit doesn't make sense to me. Like I know how to turn volume up.
It's really not that hard. I just guess every week and it works out.
Yeah, but it works out. Like to make it really work, like you need to know what the fuck you're doing.
Like a Craig Barradon level.
Yeah, that's actually the other day.
What's your answer?
Audio guy. Like
That's
audio.
your apocalyptic.
No, see, the
shit hits the fan.
You're the one that added the apocalypse.
Okay, what I mean is, let's just say there's no fucking power. Like there's no power.
Okay, so now
is that the origin of the question.
You're smarter and
fair?
there's no power.
Like
it could be. It was more about just like what. It really it has no origin.
I misread it.
Well, other than the fact that it's just like, what would you do if you could really do it?
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
See, I think I would. I think I would have actually. I would have liked to have been a writer. I'm always envious of both of your abilities to write and have that wealth of knowledge, and you can take that to a lot of different directions, right? You can write novels, you can write films if you want to write films, TV, things like that. And I've always been envious of people that have those sorts of careers. So I wish if I had more dedication, a little more smarts, and I liked reading a little bit more, writer. I think
reading's essential. I read fucking constantly. I love reading.
Do comic books count? Because I read a lot of those.
Comic books don't count.
Okay. Well, then we're at a stalemate.
I just read A lot of people ask I know a little bit about a lot of things because I just read a lot. You know? It's like everyone's always like a lot of people put in comments like I wish I knew this like Colin knew this. Or it's like I don't know these things like you think I do. It's just like I read and try to if I'm curious about something I go and read about it, and you can just gain a little bit even if you retain 10% of it. You know, like recently I was reading a lot about the French Revolution, and it's like really interesting. Now I don't remember everything I read about the French Revolution, but I remember some of the things I read about the French Revolution. You just have a little bit of understanding of it then. Like people need to give themselves a little bit more credit. Is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give yourself a little bit more credit.
Is there?
You got to just open up a book.
Is there any science behind the more you read, the more you retain? Like if you read more, do you retain?
No, but I hear
more?
eating chocolate while you study helps you retain shit.
So you're saying in terms of volume? For instance, like 1 year you retain 10% and stuff, but if you keep going, you retain 15%.
Something like that, because I don't read books, as is very obvious to everybody. But I do read comic books and stuff, I find it hard to think back to that storyline from a year ago. I'm like, man, I don't remember what happens, and it's crazy.
I think that's
that
because you read too many comic books.
What do you read?
Oh, a lot of books.
Such as some people like fiction, nonfiction.
I read a lot of nonfiction.
Okay, so what are some examples?
Yellow Pages.
I was just talking about
historical books.
Yeah, I read a lot of history, but I was just talking. I was talking with someone on Twitter was like, you should read a book by this woman Mary Roach called "Packing for Mars." And I was like, I actually read that book already. It's a book about all of the things that NASA, the things that you don't think about that NASA has to deal with for us to go to Mars. And it's one night I was just online. I was like, hey, that's really interesting. And I just download a bunch of books and I just fucking read them. You know, and it's just every night before I go to bed I just read, and it's a very valuable thing, just that even if you don't retain much of it.
Wedding tomorrow. Fuck.
Yeah, you might as well.
What do you gotta do besides?
I gotta take the dog to Brian Altano's house tonight.
But I also
watch him.
But I also think this. I've told people this in the past is that because of the internet age and our phones and all this stuff, people actually read more than ever, and I don't think a lot of people give themselves enough credit for how much they read.
Yeah,
you're reading
that
constantly.
Number dwindles by the day. I mean, going through the dating thing, what have you, reading is kind of like a unicorn these days. It's almost like reading is reading is what reading used to be to what do you watch reality TV or not? You know what I mean? That used to be the bar used to be. The bar used to be do you read, and now the bar is do you watch reality TV? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or do you even?
Wait, Colin, were you saying that because there's so much internet articles and stuff, people are reading?
People are literally reading more.
Yeah, okay.
But they're reading. They're reading books.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. We're easily one of the most literate societies on Earth, and people are more literate than ever, and becoming more literate has been
compared to say Europe.
Or really any other country. I'm sure we're in the top 10 in literacy. One of the most literate places in the world is, as far as I understand it, is actually North Korea.
I would, but it's mostly propaganda.
Yeah, but they can read, and a lot of them can speak English too, which is interesting. A lot of propaganda in English classes, propaganda.
He's chosen. He's chosen well.
Look at this.
Portillo loves you now.
Look at this.
He's showing you how tough he is by eating up his frog.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think just to that point, I think people just need to give themselves a little more credit. Just crack open a book or read. You know what website I love and I read all the time, and a lot of people give
Drudge
shit.
Report.
Drudge Report's awesome.
Wikipedia.
But Wikipedia is awesome.
Dude, I
people
all the time.
People give shit to Wikipedia being like, anyone can write it and it's all made up, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. Those people are fucking crazy. And especially maybe with smaller articles that are less important, maybe they go and they get fucked with or whatever, and no one sees. But if you're messing with the Alexander Hamilton wiki or something like that, you're gonna get banned, and they're gonna fix it. And Wikipedia,
too fucking sweet. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be there for long.
And it's there's It's funny. It's like I thought I was gonna fucking make a singularity when I was reading about it. There's a Wikipedia entry about Wikipedia.
Please don't do that. If you can do that,
don't make a singularity.
Inception.
And it was like Inception. I was reading about like Wikipedia, like how accurate is Wikipedia and all those kinds of things. It's very accurate, you know. And
Wikipedia says Wikipedia is very accurate.
But like there's wiki editors and all these kinds of things. It's just we have so much knowledge and so many resources just like get out there. And if you really want to get off of Wikipedia, just follow the hyperlinks for all the sources and go read the sources yourself. Like it's really that easy, because there's some things on there I read and I'm like, no, there's no way. You know, I tweeted out the other day, it was a really interesting thing about John Hancock. And in the Revolution, he was the governor of Massachusetts and one of the richest men. He was a smuggler and all those kinds of things. He had 1/700th the nation's wealth during the Revolution. 1/700th. Fucking beyond the pale rich.
Beyond.
You know, and like those are just little things, and so like I read a lot about
Did it also mention anything about the Illuminati?
No, it didn't mention anything about the Illuminati.
Right.
What have you learned from the Greg Miller Wikipedia page?
I'm on that page. I'm all over that fucking page.
Am I on that page?
My Wikipedia page says Damian Clark is an actor living in Los Angeles, and he's represented by blank. Done.
Can I edit it and put in the word of my choice?
Knock yourself the fuck out, son.
Jasper.
Seriously.
Jasper.
If you guys, you know what? Here is the what can come out of tonight. My Wikipedia page. There's nothing on it. So if you guys could help me with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure
Personal life.
the army of the willing.
the army can help you with that.
Look at the camera.
Personal life. Damian Clark is a scumbag. Period.
Nope. Don't do
You
that.
can do way better than that.
No, that's what we are.
You spent a full. You're a pirate?
See the problem? I wish that because I know that I wish you could actually pay money and edit your own Wikipedia page. Because
Anybody can though.
Yeah, but they fact check.
I can fuck with my Wikipedia page.
Yeah, but they'll go back and be like, this guy didn't actually do this. Like I wanted to.
But is he legit? And
saved like 50 children from a burning building.
Somebody put that.
Killer
Nick,
seals.
Which did happen, by the way.
Please put that as a line in screen cap it. Nick saved like 50 children from a burning building.
Like
I love when you do. I love when you do me. I like when you do the impression of me. It's amazing.
I gotta be honest. I'm not. You know. I'm not bothered by things like this usually, but a few years ago on Podcast Beyond, we were talking about.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I not on the list of notable graduates of Northeastern University? Right? And there's like a huge list of fucking thousands of people on this fucking list, and I'm like, really? I'm not one of those thousands of people. You know, like one of these literally thousands of people.
You know who's a notable grad at the University of Missouri, though, don't you? Me and John Hamm.
So
other people too.
But anyway, I'm saying like people like put me on that list over and over again, and they kept deleting me off that list. But I'm gonna fucking take it a step further now. Not only do I want to be back on that list, I want my own Wikipedia entry, Nick. And I'm gonna get it.
The thing is,
I was born on Port Jefferson, Long Island, New York, October 14, 1984.
When you say on, it's like your mom just was
he
on
gets
a
to like a real Dennis
Earth.
Leary fucking level at some point, doesn't he?
He gets
like,
angry.
Yeah, you get
honest.
like angry rantish. I like it. And you're super smart, so it comes off like these ideas come across super fast, and I'm just like, it's just really intense.
Well,
Does this happen every podcast?
Oh yeah,
100%.
I love it.
Thank you.
He's a good kid.
So I'm just saying,
a swell kid.
Colin Moriarty, no middle name. It's a tradition in the Moriarty family for males not to have a middle name. October 14, 1984. Port Jefferson, Long Island, New York is the birthplace.
The key to not having a Wikipedia page deleted is to have multiple sources. Back in the day, I had one that got deleted because it was all from IGN because that's where all my information was. But
surely we can find other sources.
Once I diversified, it was easy.
You can cite YouTube.
Yep, that's what a lot of people do.
I have the little check mark on YouTube or on Twitter now.
Yep, you
do. So that you can cite that.
Yeah. There's articles about you. There's a blog. Some kid interviewed you for a blog on IGN recently.
I'm just saying, I just need a little something. Just a little something. And it's really more important for me to be on the Northeastern notable graduates list than it is for me to be
I wonder
on
if I'm on the... I probably am not, because you guys like fans.
The other Nick Scarpino is probably...
I am not even remotely famous.
Scarpalotti?
Scarpopoulos.
Getty? What the I don't know.
Nicholas Scarpopoulos.
Not one.
Yeah.
Polychronopoulos.
By the way, I was
This
watching...
has been the most fun I've had all day.
Oh, good. Good. So that sucks for you, Greg.
It does, but what's he doing down there? What's he pulling on?
He's fixing my day.
He's fixing to make it a good day.
I'll put new
tugging and rubbing.
Tugging and rubbing?
Pinky tugging and rubbing.
No. What were you saying?
I was just saying, I was watching Full House the other day. This is just a total non sequitur. We have to bring a Full House.
Show.
It really is a great show. I watch it probably like 3 or 4 times a night.
Olsen twins.
I'm just 3 or 4 times
they're looking pretty good
it's
right now.
It's literally on for like 7 hours on Nick at Night. And Jesse's, I love how like early on they just changed Jesse's last name. He has like a total like English or like Western European last name. Cumberbatch, Jesse Cumberbatch.
Well, it was Jesse, not Spano. What was his
Jesse
last name?
Spano was Saved by the Bell.
It's something
Scarpaletti.
Yeah, some.
It was like and then suddenly he becomes Greek, like in like season 2, and they're
Spano.
like Jesse Spano, Saved by the Bell.
What was the English version of Jesse's name? It was clearly like a Greeky Italian dude.
Which was the guy that sang
Fairweather
Parents
the
Just
Third?
Don't Understand?
Jesse Fairweather.
Who was the guy that sang Parents Just Don't Understand?
Wait, did you ever see the show? Did you ever see the show?
Full House or Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
No, Full House. I was still on Full House.
Full House
Full
sucks.
House. But I got to know Uncle Jesse's last name now, so it's Colin.
Fairweather.
What do you? How do you pronounce his real one?
Katsopoulos.
True story. I did that the movie debate, the movie feuds thing over on movie feuds on the YouTube, and I had to make a Uncle Jesse reference, and then in the script it had me saying his real last name, and I took like 4 cracks at it, and I'm just like not gonna say it.
Well, everyone knows him by Uncle Jesse. You don't need Jesse
Stamos?
Katsopoulos.
No, not Stamos. Like Uncle
great
Jesse in the
name.
show.
John Stamos is a beautiful human being.
I couldn't pull that out if you paid me $1 million right now.
He just did it. Colin just did it.
because he has the internet.
Chronopolis. No, he knew it without
in
it.
his hands.
Now he's out looking for the
Tim,
original one.
Do you remember that guy saying that song? It was like something like Nightmare on My Street.
Oh my God! Shut
Remember
up.
that?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just beating the
Yeah.
dead horse.
What was that
God
guy's name?
damn it.